And now it's time for the G3C quiz. So take out a piece of paper and a pencil and number 1 through 14. I'm going to go through the questions pretty quickly, so if you need more time, just pause the video. When you're done with the quiz, you can stop by hymnwhisperer.com to check your answers. You can find them under the exam answers page under the G3C section. And let's get started. Question 1. Which of the following ionospheric layers is closest to the surface of the Earth? A, the D layer, B, the E layer, C, the F1 layer, or D, the F2 layer? Question 2. When can the F2 region be expected to reach its maximum height at your location? A, at noon during the summer, B, at midnight during the summer, C, at dusk in the spring and fall, or D, at noon during the winter? Question 3. Why is the F2 region mainly responsible for the longest distance radio wave propagation? A, because it is the densest ionospheric layer, B, because it does not absorb radio waves as much as other ionospheric regions, C, because it is the highest ionospheric region, or D, all of these choices are correct. Question 4. What does the term critical angle mean as used in radio wave propagation? A, the long path azimuth of a distant station, B, the short path azimuth of a distant station, C, the lowest takeoff angle that will return a radio wave to Earth under specific ionospheric conditions, or D, the highest takeoff angle that will return a radio wave to Earth under specific ionospheric conditions. Question 5. Why is long-distance communication on the 40, 60, 80, and 160 meter bands more difficult during the day? A, the F layer absorbs these frequencies during daylight hours, B, the F layer is unstable during daylight hours, C, the D layer absorbs these frequencies during daylight hours, or D, the E layer is unstable during daylight hours. Question 6. What is a characteristic of HF scatter signals? A, they have high intelligibility, B, they have a wavering sound, C, they have very large swings in signal strength, or D, all of these choices are correct. Question 7. What makes HF scatter signals often sound distorted? A, the ionospheric layer involved in it is unstable, B, ground waves are absorbing much of the signal, C, the E region is not present, or D, energy is scattered into the skip zone through several radio wave paths. Question 8. Why are HF scatter signals in the skip zone usually weak? A, only a small part of the signal energy is scattered into the skip zone, B, signals are scattered from the troposphere, which is not a good reflector, C, propagation is through ground waves, which absorb most of the signal energy, or D, propagation is through ducts in the F region, which absorb most of the energy. Question 9. What type of radio wave propagation allows a signal to be detected at a distance too far for ground wave propagation but too near for sky wave propagation? A, ground wave, B, scatter, C, sporadic E skip, or D, short path skip? Question 10. Which of the following might be an indication that signals heard on the HF bands are being received via scatter propagation? A, the communication is during a sunspot maximum, B, the communication is during a sudden ionospheric disturbance, C, the signal is heard on a frequency below the maximum usable frequency, or D, the signal is heard on a frequency above the maximum usable frequency. Question 11. Which of the following is true about ionospheric absorption near the maximum usable frequency? A, absorption will be minimum, B, absorption is greater for vertical polarized waves, C, absorption approaches maximum, or D, absorption is greater for horizontally polarized waves. Question 12. Which ionospheric layer is most absorbent of long skip signals during daylight hours on frequencies below 10 MHz? A, the F2 layer, B, the F1 layer, C, the E layer, or D, the D layer? Question 13. What is near vertical incidence sky wave propagation? A, propagation near the maximum usable frequency, B, short distance HF propagation using high elevation angles, C, long path HF propagation at sunrise and sunset, or D, double hop propagation near the lowest usable frequency? Question 14. Which of the following antennas will be most effective for skip communications on 40 meters during the day? A, a vertical antenna, B, a horizontal dipole placed between 1/8 and 1/4 wavelength above the ground, C, a left-hand circularly polarized antenna, or D, a right-hand circularly polarized antenna? And that's it for Lesson 14 and the G3C quiz. To check your answers, go to hamwhisper.com. You can check them under the exam answers page. Just find the G3C questions. And until next time in Lesson 15, this is Andy, K4GKP, saying 73, and I hope to hear you on the air soon.